Hello, everybody. Happy holidays to you. This is Christina with the Momthon Diaries, your productivity coach, here today to have a little bit of fun for our Facebook Live. I hope that your families have been abundantly blessed. I hope that you really soaked up and enjoyed your Christmas holiday. We did a lot of zooming around. We were on the move. Thursday, my husband and I went to Atlanta for his Christmas present, a Gregory Porter concert. We stayed over, so we were moving around that day, moving around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And so today we're going to just be laying low a little bit, relaxing and breathing, and just taking a little bit of family time. How was you all's holiday? How are you feeling? I think that somebody said like December 26th and 27th is National Mom Lose Your Mind Day because you are now trying to figure out where is everything going. There's stuff everywhere. Okay. I'm tagging some folks for our live today. We're all over the place. And so we just understand. I think everybody across the board, universally, we are um, rededicating ourselves to our goals, to the things that we're working on. And so this live today was spurred by a really amazing conversation that I had earlier this week. And then another conversation today. It was just so good. And I realized, wait a second, I need to get my ladies in on this conversation. So, I am going to highlight a few things today. I sent an email out to our list of folks, and we're going to see who comes in, whether you catch it now or you catch a replay later. This is going to be so good for you as you plan and soak up going into a brand new year. Okay, going into a brand new year. If you have your coffee, okay, I stole my daughter's Christmas coffee mug that says "You are my favorite." I stole it from her today. And we're just going to talk and teach for a little while about some key components that we need to kickstart into as we go to the new year. Okay. I sent out initially, it was 3 reasons why you could just not go to that vision board party. But I'm going to update that and make this 4 reasons why you, sis, may need to skip the vision board party this year. Okay. Now, all throughout the year, I talk a whole lot about creating the vision, knowing what success means for you as a leader, as a woman with a family, all of these things. I talk a lot about productivity and organizing your world and prioritizing and what are the goals that you're moving towards. We talk a lot about all of these things in a very blanketed way. Okay. The blanketed way or umbrella way might look like, okay, you have specific goals, but you may not have broken those goals down into those specific steps, what you need to do mindset wise, schedule wise, the changes you may need to make in terms of your family, your communication. Like having a goal, any goal is very blanketed, right? It's very blanketed. It's like, okay, I want to buy a house, but then we don't go into all of the things that go underneath buying a house. Okay. Oh, I need to get my credit right. I need to make sure I didn't buy anything new. I need to make sure I'm doing all of these different things underneath this singular goal of buying a house. There are a whole bunch of micro goals or micro steps that go underneath all of these things together. Okay. So if you are very intentional and you're leaning towards tackling 2024 in this really amazing way. Like you feel excited, you've learned some new things this year, you're moving in the direction of your goals, your passion. You're like, girl, listen, let's make it happen. If you're this person, I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you, sis, may need to skip the vision board party. Okay. There's some reasons why you might need to skip it. Okay. So I did some research, first of all, and I went to go look up because some of us, this may not be our thing. Some of us may not really know what vision board parties are. I decided to do a little bit of research. Okay. Y'all ready? So somebody on Quora, some question website says a vision board party is a social gathering where individuals come together to create the vision board. And that's basically a visual representation, right, of somebody's goals, their dreams, their aspirations, their desires. It's usually a collage of sorts, okay, where you have words, empowering phrases. It represents the things that you want to achieve going into a new year, or that you want to, as they say, attract into your life. Things that you want to see manifest in your life or show up in real life in living color. And that can include your career goals, personal development, if you want to travel this year, health and wellness goals, and other things. Some people do it virtually, right? That's kind of become a thing lately where we do the vision board party virtually. We put all our stuff together in Canva. We make it sexy so that it's digitalized. That's a thing. Some other people, though, still come and gather together in person, and you get some magazines and some newspapers and printed images and all of the crafty stuff, the glue, the scissors, and a poster board or a cork board or something like that. And then you come together to create something amazing. The goal is to like cut out the stuff, put it up there, right? Y'all know what a vision board is. Most of us have done them at some point in our lives, okay? And usually the idea is that you are in a fun environment full of people who are supportive, who have like-minded goals, aspirations, and focuses. Okay. And that way you guys can motivate each other. Some people talk about their goals. Some of you guys discuss why you picked the images or power words that you chose. And then you get to explain why it's significant to you. Okay. Why is it significant to you? Here's what I want to lean into today. Okay. Here's what I really want to lean into today is the idea that you can want to create something specific. Okay. You can want to create something, but I'm going to give you guys 4 reasons why you might need to skip it. You yourself know yourself better than anybody else. You know what you're working on. You know what your goals are, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to tell you that this is something that usually happens in January. Usually the vision board parties are planned for December, for January to start off the brand new year. You want to lay out what you're going to accomplish, all of these things. But I'm about to give you guys 4 reasons why, sis, you might need to skip, okay? Number 1 reason that you may need to not go, okay, is your goals are still the same as last year. Your goals are still the same as last year, okay? Some of us need to just peel off. Listen to me. Are your goals the same as last year? Some of us need to just go to the vision board you made last year, peel off the 3, and put a number 4 sticker next to the 202. You just need to make it a 2024. It's literally the exact same thing as it was last year. Okay. For some of us, this is the major thing. This is like the goal, the aspiration. You're literally rinse and repeating. It was the tried and true cartoon that we all know and love and grew up on, Pinky and the Brain. And Pinky and the Brain always says, Brain, what are we gonna do tonight? And he says, oh, the same thing that we do every night. We try to take over the world. This is it. This is what we do all the time. And so for some of us, you just need to lean back into the same goals, the same situation, the same focus. Your goals may be the exact same thing. In my personal business coaching and mastermind, y'all, the work that we do it over a 3-year plan. You work on a 3-year plan, a 3-year basis. So my goal from this year versus last year may not be that grossly different than what it was before. Okay, I want to add this many thousands of dollars to my business revenue. Oh, I want to secure this opportunity, right? So me, for example, I'm going to be pitching for some other, festival related opportunities. But my goal for this year was that I did it 3 times. My goal for next year is still going to be that same thing. And some of us, we're going to create new goals, and the ones that are there on the board right now, they're still there. They're still there, undone, uncompleted. Are you in love with finding new goals? And we haven't necessarily created or a path to the ones that were already there. Some of the goals that were there for 2023 need to just roll over. You need to give the 3-year plan, 2-year plan to some of those goals that were there, because we're just going to redo it. We're just going to come to the other side of this thing and repeat it again. Okay. And some of us, the goal is still the same. So do you need to go to another event, right? Do you need to go to another something and say, okay, I want to create new things? It's not the same thing when you go and say, oh, I'm creating another vision board, but it's just to make it fresh because all the stuff is still the same. All the stuff is still the same. If I redid every goal that I have for this year, next year, and just look for ways I could do it better, my 2024 would be epic for me. If I did the same things, if I said, okay, I want to do Essence 3 times, that's what I did this year, I want to do it again next year, right? If I did that 3 times, that's a win. If I had another 100 women who were the perfect fit for the conference again this year, that would be a win. Okay, if I were to travel with my family and have more time for laugh, that's what I did this year. If I did that again next year, man, that would be epic. So it's the idea, right? It's the idea that I get to recreate this. I get to say again and again, you know what? My goals are the same as last year. That's not a bad thing. Okay. Maybe we say that Saturday. Some of us, we go to vision board parties all of January. You don't just go to one, you go to like 2, 3, 4. Almost as though the very activity of it is transformational to who you are as a person. Okay. So the first reason you might need to skip that vision board party, number one, is if your goals are still the same as last year. I'm on my soapbox just a little bit today. I'm in my productivity coach bag. Y'all hear me? I'm in the coaching bag today. If your goals are the same as last year, maybe, just maybe, you don't need another event to tell you to peel the 3 off and put a 4 there. We're just changing it from 2023 to 2024. That might be the edit. That might be the change. Some of your goals may be the same as last year. In my coaching, like I said earlier, we work based off of a 3-year plan. How do I create the same results with less work? I just want to recreate this again. How do I produce this result on less time? How do I streamline it more? How do I recreate it again? How do I sell this out, but without doing discovery calls, for example? How do I book the conference fully out, but in a more streamlined way? Like, how do I recreate the goal in an easier fashion? Okay. So number one, your goals are still the same as last year. Number two, the second reason you might need to skip that vision board party is if you are more in love with planning than execution. If you are more in love with planning than the actual execution of it. I love to work on what I've planned. There is a tangible release that happens in here and in here when what I have been thinking about for an extended period of time, what I've been working on for an extended period of time, is actually done and completed. Even if it's a part of a process. Okay. For example, when I plan the conference, right? There are so many layers to that. Who's going to be a speaker? Who's going to sponsor? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Like, there's so many layers to it already. But every time I get done with even one part of the big picture, there's such an internal release that happens for me. Okay. So you can plan all day. Some of us love to plan. Am I right? Some of us love the idea of showing up, doing the things, writing it out, cutting and pasting. Okay? We love it. But there's something that happens differently, right? When we really show up to lean into that. Okay? I want you to just do some analysis today. I want you to ask yourself, am I willing to be the person that does that work? Am I willing to be the person that does the stuff? Okay. So some of us, we are more in love with the planning than the execution of it. Okay. We're more in love with that. We want to sit down and do the vision board. We want to sit down and map everything out. We want to sit down and cut out the pictures and do the stuff in Canva and all the things. We love that planning part. We love to visualize it. We love to do the manifestation practices. We love to do all this stuff, right? All these steps, all these invisible, intangible things. We love to do that. The challenge comes when it's time to implement. The challenge comes, what's that in between place where things are not working? Where's that in between? What's in the missing area that's causing you not to flow? What's happening in your family? What's happening in your schedule? What's happening in your mind, right? Where you start to kick up mind drama about all these other things. Okay, so you may actually love the planning process more than you love doing the things that you sat down to do. One time, my coach, she said something so simple. It was like, okay, you're going to map out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to map out all of these things. And after you map it out, you're going to put it on your calendar and do them. And it's so simple, but it's almost hilariously simple. Oh, okay. So now after I planned it, I should do it. Fascinating. Fascinating. I know, right? It's this idea that you planned it, but you don't do what you said you were gonna do. Okay. So number one, your goals are still the same as last year. You just need to put a 4 where there was a 3. Leave it like it is. Number two, you're more in love with planning than you are execution. Okay. We love the idea of the vision casting and learning. We want to watch all the videos, read all the books, and take the new courses and the workshops and all these things. We want to do all of this. But at the end of the day, are we that person? Okay. Number 3, this is a heavy hitter. I know some of y'all are going to be upset with me about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Number 3, you're not going to advocate for your goals. You should skip the vision board party if you are not going to be a self-advocate. I was talking to a sister on Discovery Call earlier this week, and part of our conversation was rooted in, are you going to be the one who advocates for yourself? Across the board, most of the time, like, because I'm very vocal with my husband and he is with me, we know where each other usually are in terms of emotions and what were our goals and all this kind of stuff. But there are some places, because I coach on something a lot of times very intangible, right? Like working on your schedule, you don't really see the physical benefit from it until you see the other side, right? We talk about productivity, life coaching. A lot of things are like this emotional management, this well-managed mind, and being able to communicate better. Like my coaching, some people that I work with, they're business coaches, right? Public relations and all this other kind of stuff. They do things that are very in your face and very tangible, like you can see it. For some of the coaching that I do is very untouchable, but you see the results. Okay. So you guys see me, I'll go live and talk for an hour and no children come traipsing through, popping up on the Zoom and all the other kind of stuff. That is a tangible, visible change and result that comes because of the kind of work that I do. Okay. Is this making sense? So some of our spouses, significant others, they may not see the value in coaching that supports your emotional management, coaching that helps you to elevate how you work in terms of your time, how you stay out of mind drama, all these other things, right? So we have to learn how to self-advocate. We have to learn how to go into a situation, a conversation, and advocate for yourself. And for a lot of us, that's really challenging. For a lot of us, that's really challenging, okay? Where we forget whatever you struggle with, like however you grow or build in this current season of your life, right now in this moment, you're just going to take that with you over to the next thing. You're going to take that with you over to the next thing. You're going to grow your business. You're still going to have these same challenges. You feel like I worked on all these things. It should be better. But for some reason, I still feel cluttered in here. I still feel controversy in my heart. Like I'm not sure what's going on, but it's not working. Like I'm trying to create this result. It's not showing up. Okay. So what are the reasons that things are missing? Why does it feel like this feels hard? Why does this feel like it's above me? Like I can't quite reach it? It's because a lot of times we love the planning more than we love execution. And then when it comes time to do the things, we're not willing to be our own best advocate. To say to other people, y'all hear my husband, to say to other people that this is something that we're working on. That this is something that I really feel strongly about. This is a goal that I'm very passionate about. We're not really able to lean in and do that. Okay. Are you willing going into the new year to be your own best advocate, to share with others, to tell others, this is what I'm working on. I'm really excited about it. I'm putting up boundaries around it. I really want to create this particular thing. And because I want to create this is what I'm moving towards. Okay. All of these ideas, all of these aspirations are stuff that we have put on the vision boards in the past, right? I'm not a vision boarder. I'm a list maker. Okay. It might be what I do, instead of in lieu of that. Okay. But sometimes we need to skip making a new list. You might need to skip making a whole fresh, what you call it? You might need to do that. Is that something that you need to do? Hi, Janisha. Instead of going out to go and create something brand new. Okay. So, number one, your goals are still the same as last year. Some of y'all just need to replace the number. Instead of 2024, instead of 2023, you need to just put 24 instead. Number two, you're more in love with the planning than executing on it. Some of us just like to talk about goals. Some of us just like to have conversations about it. You like to come and do the lives. We like to come and pull that in. We like to go read more books. We like to go take more courses. You love to plan. You love to think about what could be. But when it comes time to do the stuff, there's this invisible barrier or boundary that keeps you from being a doer, an executor. It could be fear. Could be imposter syndrome, which is perfectionism, procrastination, people pleasing, and analysis paralysis. There's this invisible place in between the vision board and the actual doing of what's there that keeps you from being an executor. Okay. Number three of reasons why you might need to skip the vision board party. Okay. You're not going to advocate for your goals. And for those of you that just joined us, this is the illumination of you being able to speak up and say, this is what I'm working on. This is what I need. This is in your parenting. Can you have those conversations with your children about what you're not going to be doing anymore? This is in your organization of your life, your time, your schedule. Okay. Are you willing to have these conversations about what's not going to work anymore, what we're not going to do anymore? Are you willing to communicate? Ugh. Some of us want to be the more learned, advanced, mature woman, all these other kind of things, but you have not shared with your loved ones about how important this is to you. That I believe this is a resource that I need to get to my next place, and I really want to advocate for myself in this way. Am I willing to be that person? Or am I going to, when they don't see value in it, I also don't feel like there's value. Okay. If you don't see value in it, I also don't feel like it's value. Okay. So then, because you don't see value in it, I cave. Okay. Because you don't see the benefit, I just give in. Never mind. Right. A lot of us do this on a consistent basis. A lot of us do this. My son's voice is so deep. A lot of us do this on this consistent basis, where instead of leaning in and actually itemizing it out, like I did a call with a lady yesterday and she said, I got to talk to my husband. I said, okay, that's fine. Talk to your husband about this coaching investment. Let him know that because you're a business owner, I'm tax deductible, right? I was like, so you guys can have it as a part of your leadership, business coaching, professional development aspect of your business as opposed to X, Y, and Z. I said, so let him know that. I said, but also let him know how coaching benefits him as the man of the house, right? How does coaching help you as the person that runs the business? How does it help you in terms of being a better wife, a better mother, getting the family in a flow? How does this help him? What exactly is he agreeing to? A lot of us, we don't really know. We want more support. We want people to step in and give us the push we need, accountability. And, I want you to love me and love my goals and all these things. But for men, especially if you're telling them something that they are going to need to invest in or be all in for their wives, I need to know how this benefits the whole family. Do you have that advocacy component ready? And I sat with her an extra 10 minutes on the call. And I said, listen, if you want your husband to be as excited about coaching as you are, then you're going to need to know how to advocate for yourself. I have one of my favorite clients, a delight to work with, right? But she had difficulty with verbalizing how coaching helped her as a mother. And so we had to sit with that for a while. And I told her, I said, your husband can't call me, right, to ask me how coaching benefits you. You need to be able to have those words together. And we talked about it. But I was like, can you advocate for yourself? When I wanted to invest in myself this year, I went to my husband, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the deposit that I need to take from here. I'm going to put it back in. But I believe that this is going to be what it takes to get me to the next level. I know this to be true. And I'm a really great student. So I'm going to show up, and we're going to talk about point number 4 in a second. I'm going to show up as the person who gets what she came for. I'm going to get the return on my investment. It's what I do. It's who I am. I'm going to be 100% in. I'm going to go in and get what I came for. And I did exactly that. Okay. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is when we got to go and share with somebody else about this big, audacious, exciting goal that's coming up next, as we go to become this person, can you advocate for yourself? There's no need for you to have take my business from here to here on that on your vision board, on that to-do list or whatever, and you're not willing to speak up and say, hi, I'm not going to be doing this particular aspect like I used to. Or here's how I could really use your support, husband, in this specific way. Because I do a lot of my personal coaching, my one-to-one coaching calls on Fridays, right? It's a force of habit. My husband was a barber for the entire time of our marriage. And so I was like, you know what? Fridays are wide open. He's homeboy gonna be cutting all that hair on Fridays. So I do most of my one-to-one coaching calls on Fridays. It is also the day that I love to be like, you know what? I might not cook on Friday night because I've been on Zoom with clients for 7-8 hours, right? That's a change but I had to communicate that to him. Babe, since you're usually on the go on Fridays, I'm going to do my one-to-one calls on that day. Okay? That's a advocacy component that I had to do for myself. I also had to be willing to say, you know what? We might need to do takeout on Friday nights because that's my really long day. Okay, these are just different addendums that you may need to be able to lean in and say, hi, this is how I need your support. And if you're not willing to be that person and go and do that, then these are questions that need answers. Maybe you should forego adding more stuff to your list if you're not willing to be an advocate for yourself. Okay, so number 1, your goals are still the same as last year. Just stay home from the vision board party If you know your goals are still the same. Number two, you're more in love with planning than actual execution. Number three, you're not willing to be an advocate for your goals. Okay. You're not willing to be the person that says, yes, ma'am, I'll lean in. I'm going to have that challenging conversation about this investment. I'm going to have the challenging conversation about the time management needed to accomplish this goal. You might not be willing to say, hey, children, we need to organize how we're doing all of this because mommy's not going to be as available to do this other stuff like she used to because she's committed to this goal. Okay. Are we willing to be that person? Are we willing to sit with that for a little while? Okay. And then number four, the fourth reason why you might need to skip the vision board party. Okay. And I'm going to go back over the other three in a second again. Is you are not 100% responsible and you're not 100% committed. Okay. 100% does not mean that you always do the right things every single day. Just like being consistent, the very term consistency means keeping with the same quality over the course of time. It does not mean that you do everything perfect every single day. All right. So even being 100% responsible of your own results means that when it comes up for me, when this idea comes up for me, I'm willing to agree with what it's showing me. Okay. If I know that I get excited and then I fall off, if I know I get overwhelmed and then I fall off, if I know that I create these really big results and this really high momentum and then I stop, if I recognize this in myself, I'm able to course correct. I should be able to course correct, right? So are you taking 100% ownership of the results you have, or are we playing the blame game? Are we pointing to this other person, that other person, this situation, that situation, or am I taking responsibility? Am I taking ownership of the results that I have? Am I willing to be the person that says, you know what, I'm responsible for everything that I'm reaping right now? I'm responsible. I didn't have that conversation. I'm responsible. I said yes when I didn't want to. I'm responsible. I let my boundary down. I'm responsible. I invited you to collaborate with me and I didn't realize that you weren't ethically sound. I take responsibility for the conversations that I had and the ones I didn't have. One of my clients, she asked me, she said, I just know that you don't fall into like these feeling overwhelmed or having this anxiety or all these things. I was like, oh my gosh, I have all the same moments that you guys do. All the same ones. I have moments where I say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I have moments where I say, oh, I feel like quitting. I have moments where I say, I should just go do this instead. I have all those moments. The thing is, when I slip into those cycles, I recognize it, set a red flag for myself, and then go the opposite direction. I don't stay there. I don't stay in that place. So if I take 100% responsibility, you know what? Here are the things that I see I did. Here are the things I see that I did not do. Am I willing to be that person? Or am I somebody who I'm always deflecting, always deferring to my past experiences, diverting to the man, diverting to what my spouse, a significant other, or co-parent, or MIA baby daddy is doing or not doing? Like, we have a lot of places where we deflect over the course of time. Okay? A lot of places where we deflect over the course of time. So I need you to pull it back in. I need you to grab it. I need you to pull it back. Yeah, I know. I need you to grab it. I need you to pull it back. I need you to make the decision this year. You know what? I might leave some things alone. I might not need to add anything else. I may need to really lean into what's happening in here and in here that are causing me not to be a finisher. And then we go at it from that place instead. Okay. So there's 4 reasons why you might have needed to forego the vision board party. Okay. Number 1, your goals are still the same as last year. Number 2, you're more in love with planning than execution. Number 3, you're not going to be an advocate for your goals. And number 4, you're not 100% responsible and you're not 100% committed. Okay? Are you willing to be the person that leans in and says, hey, you know what? I'm ready. I'm all the way ready and I'm going to be a finisher this year. Okay? It's a little bit of a soapbox moment today, but only because I so firmly believe in you all's ability to be those women. Like, I show up all the time for you guys to be those people. And the question is, are you willing to be that one? Are you willing to be the one that says, hey, I'm going to position myself to move to the next level, but I'm going to be a responsible for it. I'm willing to be responsible. Okay. That's something that I'm sitting with this year. I'm responsible for the other side of this thing. And if you can take that responsibility, if you can be committed to advocating for yourself, talking to your loved ones, talking to your husband, your co-parents, whatever it is that's going to change in your family as a result of you moving towards this particular goal, but you got to make sure that you're advocating for yourself. Okay. So that's it for today. I'm excited. We start the Mamathon Mastermind January 8th. Okay. If you have missed out on connecting with me in the past, there is a link attached here to this live where you can book a call to talk with me about it. But this week only, today's Wednesday, so you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday to go ahead and grab your call. Okay. I'm excited to connect with you guys and to really move into the next, but it starts with ownership. It starts with self-advocacy. It starts with falling in love with execution. It starts with falling in love with execution. Not just the aspects of, doing other things. Like, we love to plan. We love to write things down. We love to make the vision boards. We love to make the lists, right? But am I as in love with the doing? Am I as in love with the becoming? Okay? Because when you move to a different place, you also have to become somebody new. I have to completely and totally not erase who I was, but like I felt some very tangible stretching, over the course of this year. Like, I could feel it in my body, especially last year. It was like, oh, like what we're doing now, sliding into the national advocacy space, sliding into, working with Essence multiple times, and this happening, that happening. It was like all these things coming together. It was like, oh, wait a second, we're going into a new place. We're going into a new status. So I just need for everybody to just sit with this, soak it in. Okay. But you got to do that first. It has to become important to you first. Otherwise, we're going to miss out on the really beautiful transformations that are guaranteed. Okay. So if this live has resonated with you today, then I want for you to reach out to me via Messenger or book a call, right? The link is right there for you, for us to connect. I would love to hear about the goals that you have coming up for the coming year, not in a let's figure it out type situation, but in a these are the necessary steps to help bring it together, to help create it, to help make it flow. Okay. I'm excited to connect with you and I look forward to what we're going to create together. All right. See you guys next time.